All right, then. Welcome, everyone. My name is Alfred Collins. Welcome to Ascent Innovation Lab, and welcome to today's webinar on enabling social transformation through artificial intelligence. We're already joined by our guest speaker for the day, an amazing personality, someone I got to connect with over in Southeast Asia about over a year now, 14 to 16 months already it's been. But I'm really delighted to have them with us today. I have Violet Edwin. Edwin is also part of the program. We run an online training program, Markey, where we train Gen Zs across Africa. Just imagine economies around the world on how to use artificial intelligence. And this is our very first cohort, actually. These are some of the brightest students that we have right now, and they are right here on this cohort. There's Isioma, there's Success, who had an exam this morning. So shout out to Success for still joining. Immediately after exam, there's Ifeoluwa, there's God's Grace, there's Anointing, Emmanuel. I think a couple more folks should be joining us in a bit. But it's great to have everyone here. We typically like to run through a bit of an intro about what the program looks like, just for folks who are catching up on the recording much later. So I'll try to share my screen, then I'll come back to you, Markey. Just a sec. I can see some folks are still registering, actually. So maybe I'll get back to that in a bit. Let me know if you can see my screen. Give me like a thumbs up if you can. Okay, thank you, Markey. All right, then, everyone. Ascent Innovation Lab is the space that we count as the most exciting space on the internet for Gen Zs to learn, innovate, and create with artificial intelligence. We've all heard about AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, or recently Nano Banana. Everyone is playing and having fun with AI, right? But what Ascent Innovation Lab represents is the gap between the buzz that exists outside there and the reality of actually using these tools in a very socially intelligent way, right? So most young people, especially Gen Zs from Sub-Saharan Africa, or whether it's Southeast Asia or Latin America, are still not clear on how best to use these tools. We know that some students are already using it for, or maybe like doing assignments, asking all the strange questions that they never knew who to ask, right? But artificial intelligence could be used in a lot more constructive way, and that's what we represent. We believe that the future shouldn't be gated by geography, privilege, passport, or age. And this is born from a lived experience that I had, coming out of high school and waiting for admission into for my college degree or getting into university. I spent that period, I like to call it like the gap. I spent that gap confused, anxious, not even sure what I wanted to do with my life. And this is a solution that I built out of that experience to help people who are in that gap currently, whether it is you waiting for your first admission, going into college for your first degree, or maybe you're coming out of college and you're waiting for your first job, right? Or maybe you're probably starting your first role. You're not really sure what do you do with all this buzz about AI, or what tools should you be working with? What career path should you be even considering with the way AI is, early career roles are gradually being phased away. So what should young people, Gen Zs in this age and time be doing? And that is why we exist. We're empowering people, specifically across the global south, to lead the AI revolution, not just to spectate it. Too many times, folks from Latin America and Sub-Saharan Africa seem to be like on the backbone of things. It always feels like we're catching up with the global north, right? So there's that disparity, that chasm that exists between the global north and the global south, or what you might call first world countries and third world countries. AI is going to be the great equalizer. I know that we've heard that quite a number of times at Ascent Lab. Shout out to Vinicius Pereira from Brazil, who was like our first guest speaker on this webinar. AI is going to be the good equalizer, meaning that it holds the biggest potential for closing the gap between the global north and the global south. And we at Ascent Innovation Lab, in our own little way, by empowering young people, Gen Zs especially, with the knowledge to use artificial intelligence in a socially altruistic way, or whether it's by building capitalist structures for enabling shared prosperity, we're putting the power in the hands of young people to go ahead and take charge of their future, right? To write their own narrative. And this is not just another coding boot camp. I'm sure a lot of folks on this call, or if you're watching this recording, you've been bombarded by hundreds of messages on your WhatsApp. Oh, come join this copywriting class. Oh, come learn how to sell. Oh, come learn how to do what again, like come and learn how to do UI UX. Like quite a number of things is always going on WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups, right? this is not just any kind of coding bootcamp. We've specifically designed this for you in the gap. We designed it around your pain points, your desire, the nuances of this specific age group. So as Gen Zs, we know the way that the sort of habits you spend on the internet, your habits around the internet, how you surf the internet, how you experience interactions with people across different locations in terms of communication, what that feels like. And we build this specifically around that. For students who are currently going through the course, feel free to throw a comment in the chat. I know you're currently exploring module 3.2, if I'm correct there, and mini projects are currently ongoing. For folks who have already gotten to module 4, shout outs to you. That's the leadership part of the course. After going through the beginners phase, then we'll have the leadership aspect towards the end, right? If you've been experiencing that so far, let us know what it feels like in the chat for you. I know I've taken those feedback in the past, but it's not bad to have it again. Just feel free to share. This is going to be the most exciting space on the internet for Gen Zs to play, to think, and create with AI. And that is why Ascent Innovation Lab exists. So it is built by Gen Zs for Gen Zs. We understand your aspirations, your challenges, because we're living them as well. And you can also learn on your smartphone, actually. And that's something I tell the young folks when I reach out to them. As long as you have a smartphone, whether it's an iPhone and an Android OS, you're good to go. AI is making it easy for you to build web apps straight from a smartphone, customize your websites, websites that used to go for as much as $2,000 to build 5 years ago. Right now, you can write an email to a company out there that you found. If their website doesn't look too good, you can write an email and tell them, oh, I'm happy to build this website for you, redesign it for you, and you can pay me after. I'll build it only for $500, let's say. That's a quarter of the price that they would typically be charged to have a fully functional website. With AI, we're able to create what I like to call shared prosperity, meaning that everybody around the world is no longer marginalized. The concept of scarce resources that we had in the 1900s, going towards 2030, fourth industrial revolution, thereabout, with AI, folks from Africa can begin to rewrite that narrative around scarce resources and poverty and squalor, all of that. We can begin to create a future of shared prosperity where everyone is truly free to achieve their highest potential. It's an action-based curriculum. There's no fluff, practical skills and real-world applications that get you ready for impact. And it's also global force. Like you're seeing our guest speaker, Markey, who is joining us today from Thailand. So you have that opportunity to learn from global perspective. Practical AI skills are some of the things that students come in here to learn. You also get access to a global community of Gen Z change makers, live mentorship, and real-world projects. So this is not just another course, it's your pathway to being future ready. I know we've already explored AI skills. If you're in the program right now, Cohort 1. If you're not in the program and you're watching this recording or you're joining us live, you should be watching out for Cohort 2. The application should be coming out soon. So there's AI skills, there's leadership, which students in the program should be closing in on now. That's the final module, module 4, before you go into the capstone project. In module 4, you learn about leadership, career clarity, mindset mastery, understanding your potentials, understanding your EQ, your emotional content, what sort of persona do you have, understanding all of that. I know that's a couple of things that some of you do not already know about yourself. So while you're thinking about your career, this is some sort of balance that you should be having. We call it soft skills, and it definitely helps build you for the future world where the world is now driven by AI. Soft skills are going to be a big priority for a lot of organizations. So at Ascent Innovation Lab, we're helping you refine those skills as well. There's community and there's projects too. We'll not be doing a live walkthrough of the platform today just because of time. So we'll give Markey enough time to go through her session and then we'll take questions as well. All right, then. At this point, I'll just stop sharing screen. Just in case anyone would like to, Success Emergencies, thank you. Yeah. Just in case anyone would like to pop in with a question right now, feel free to throw it in the chat. If not, we'll hand it to Markey. Feel free to come on video. Markey is a dear friend that I met. I think I already talked about that. She's a very amazing speaker. We shared her profile as well. She's currently handling co-founder for the Greater Bay Forum. And she also does go-to-market strategy for Z.AI. So she's an amazing speaker. You would absolutely love to learn from her today. If you have questions while she's sharing, feel free to show them in the chat. I'll be taking note of them and sharing with her after our speech. She would have around 10 minutes to take your question. So feel free to just follow. You learn so much. If you have a pen or you're joining on your smartphone, open your notepad and just try to scribble up something. There's so much in store for us today. Markey, thank you so much again for joining us. Let me know if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up if you are.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks, Alfred. Yeah. Let me share the screen right now. So, all right. Can you guys see the screen?
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. So, hi again, everyone. I think first of all, as Alfred mentioned, right? I think it's such a pleasure to be here with you guys today. Definitely, I believe that it is such a great initiative, right? Because I'm a Thai, and then I'm also from a global South, and I think we definitely need this kind of initiative in Thailand or like in Southeast Asia as well. So congratulations for your first batch. Yeah. And as I mentioned, so I'm a Thai, right? But previously I was an alumna from Global Shapers community in Shenzhen. And that is how I met Alfred last year in China and Dalian. And pretty much my sharing wouldn't be too long. Yeah, but we can have a discussion after my sharing. So I think right now, I'm not sure how deep you guys are, but then I think with AI, right? I want you to just start imagining like the scenario that there's like a 17 years old girl, or a boy, whichever gender they are. And they are basically leveraging the AI tools, right, to write a proposal, for asking for the funding or like kind of the support from the government because he or she has no political power, no mentor, no fancy computer, right? Pretty much like just a curiosity with a heart, of course, and with a smartphone. Yeah, and with that, then the proposal might get approved, right? And then something might be built. It's all because he or she learned to leverage AI as the voice. And I think this is the magic of this era because AI isn't just the tool only for coding or for automation, but it's definitely a multiplier of the human intent. So I think that the real question could be, like, what will we do with AI? Yeah. And with that, let's start by grounding ourselves in what's already happening. I think definitely like AI is already here, and it's shaping the classroom, the clinic, the farm, the cities, and profoundly like it's definitely everywhere, right? But it's just kind of like everyone in different stages. But of course, like at one point we will get there. And I would love to share with you guys some of the like projects that is already existing. Yeah. Okay, so the first one, so this is a project for women's health. So it has been decades where, like the women's health data has been underrepresented, and most medical studies it's based on men's body, right? So there are symptoms like the fatigue or the hormonal imbalance. It has been, like often dismissed or misdiagnosed. And that's where some AI platforms like Flow Health or Emma AI comes in. And they were leveraging the machine learning and AI to track the cycle, to detect the hormonal disorders and personalized advice. So right now for Flow, right, there are more than 350 million users around the world, and with Emma, it's a women's health chatbot, and it has reached 85% accuracy in terms of, the early PCOS detection. And this is definitely a life-changing, right? Because I think in general, for especially for women, sometimes when you feel fatigue, sometimes when you feel unwell, but actually we don't know what is happening, like what's going on in our body. And with these tools, actually sometimes you might be able to detect early on, and you might be able to kind of like just, improve your health. And I think, yeah, this is definitely not just, like how the AI analyzing data, but it helps to kind of like it helps for the women's body to just, like being able to like shine in this era. So yeah, that is what's going on for AI for women. And definitely there are many more projects as well. For the second scenario, this is in education, right? So of course, education has always been the great equalizer. It's like, this initiative, right? But however, there are more than 260 million students around the world still lack access to quality teachers, right? So there's the project called Kong-Macao, which is an AI tutor created by Khan Academy. And then just, like instead of the spoon feeding answer, like pretty much like many of the AI app. Yeah, but this one, it actually asks the questions. So it would be more like a Socratic style. So, it gets to teach the students how to think, not just to memorizing things. And the student who use Kong-Macao show a 45% improvement in terms of the understanding for complex concepts. And the teachers also, like save some time per week on grading and planning as well. So I think this is one of the best way to leverage AI for education as well. So AI isn't replacing the teachers, but it is giving the learner a personal support. Yeah. And for the third scenario, this is for accessibility, right? So over 2.2 billion people live in the visual impairments right now. And yeah, I think for many, even just reading a street sign, it can be a daily challenging thing. So there's the project called Be My Eyes. So they were leveraging the GPT-4's vision model to help for this. So, the blind user can point their phone at an object, and then the AI would describe what it sees in real time. And then yeah, so you could imagine something like, okay, you're holding a can of soup, it's a tomato flavor, and it would expire in June, right? So this definitely would make their lives easier. But of course, like there are many more scenarios that it could help, right? And then I think, for example, this is the case of the phone, but however, right now there's also kind of like, the glasses, right, that people are working on right now. And I think pretty much like, yeah, when AI is built for accessibility, it doesn't just give people the superpowers, but it also gives them the dignity. So this is also something we can consider. And yeah, so pretty much across these, kind of scenarios I mentioned with you guys, but I think there are some patterns, right, that we can clearly see. So first of all, like in general, before you come up with any of these projects, like I think what to keep in mind is the empathy. Yeah, I think because we shouldn't even start any project without understanding like what's the point of doing this? It's like, what's the pain point here to solve? And then I think after that, right, like besides that, then we're gonna need the data. But then with the data, it's not just like the stats, right? But pretty much it comes with the language of evidence. And based on that, then we know what to act, right? So we can scale based on what we care for. So pretty much that's the triangle of transformation. And then I think pretty much like the best AI systems aren't just built in lab, like with pure mathematics and like coding, but I think it should also start from just listening. Yeah, and I think since this lab, right? This you guys are Gen Z, so I think since you're the first truly AI native generation, so definitely I think you speak two language fluently. I think first is the human emotion, right? But then it also comes with the machine logic. So you have grown up remixing, creating, and experimenting. So you don't need to ask for permission, but basically with the existing tools, right? You can just building things anyway. And I think it is not just, like you can be just the digital native era, but I think right now you can consider to be the empathy natives, because I would say like with my generation, right, the millennials, like and Gen Y, I mean, pretty much we built the internet economy. But I think something needs to change, and maybe it could start with your generation. So this is some framework that, like let's say actually with Global Shapers Shenzhen Hub, when we consider to come up with some project, we would consider the EAR. So with the empathy, of course, right? Like we wanted to start from the pain point, not just like, okay, what technology do we have? And then we're gonna need to ask like, who are we helping, and like who am I actually excluding? And then comes to the accessibility. So we wanted to make it inclusive, and of course, because like sometimes when you like with the AI capability right now, right, it could be multilingual, and I think by time, right, it could be more affordable. And there are so many open sources, open data sets, right, and many existing tools that like would be able to kind of leverage. And for the responsibility, I think, because sometimes with what you come up with, right, sometimes it could create some chaos that maybe you didn't expect. So it's also good to keep in mind what happens if this scales without oversight. Yeah, so then this is how we can build AI that heals, yeah, not just scales. So pretty much, I think like we don't need another next ChatGPT. I think in order for you to start with something, you can consider just, maybe just one simple problem in your local area that worth solving. And by leveraging AI, which is your megaphone for change. So I just want to, leave you just with one question. So if AI could amplify one of your values, kindness, justice, curiosity, which would you choose to shape the future? Yeah, so I think pretty much that's it for my sharing. And then if you guys have any questions, then feel free to. I'm happy to ask. All right.
Thank you very much, Markey. Brilliant question. I like the question that you just asked at the end. And just in case anyone would like to come off mute to answer, or you want to type it in the chat, please feel free to do so. There's another one that I know you asked about. I was just about typing that one as you were talking. You were asking about what's one problem in your local community that AI could help solve. And that's actually a project that we also inserted into the course, into our beginners course. So I'd love to see someone maybe just type in the chat, responding to that. Jessica as well. Jessica, I know you're on those calls. So from some of the things that Markey has shared this morning. Do you have any questions? Or maybe you want to answer my own question or Markey's question instead. Which one would you go for?
I can start with your questions,
Okay.
right? So
yeah, let's go.
let me share about what we did in Shenzhen. So since 2023, yeah, with Global Shapers community in Shenzhen, we start the project called AIGC for everyone. And then and I think with that it was pretty much because, you know, it's like I think even though like in China there are so many information existing about like, okay, AI, you know, like tools, but however it's kind of spread around. And then basically so with this initiative, what we were trying to do is that we wanted to support the non-technical people, you know, to leverage AI properly for their daily life, for their work, so they can have a, you know, a bit of a better quality of life. And so we had kind of like similar sessions going on, and until now. So I think the first year it was like focusing on the non-tech, right? And then I already turned alumni, but then what was going on in Shenzhen Hub right now is they start to already like running the AI hackathon. So there would be kind of like, you know, people who just wanted to try different AI tools, and then they'll come on the weekend, and, you know, like they just launch the project together. And this is something that we have in Shenzhen, but I believe that, you know, like every cities would have a kind of like could have a different project.
Yeah. That's interesting. So I see that Jessica just asked a question. It's a very dicey one, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Jessica, before we go into your question, I would also love you to, she's actually one of our most engaging students on the call. So Jessica, I would like you to answer the question about what's one problem in your local community that you think AI could help solve? Jessica Cosmos, yeah. Good morning. We're struggling to hear you though.
Students. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better now.
Okay. Okay. So I'm a student, and in school, most students find it difficult to have access to most textbooks that they need, access to information basically. And with the courses, it can be tiring and bulky, like which can break down notes, summarize text into audios, even channel our like the way we understand better, like explain things the way we understand better. It helps every student. So personally, I feel like AI tools that help students to break down the large work of large schoolwork into a tiny bit that we can understand. Yes. So it really helps too. Yeah.
Okay, so the problem you're sharing with us is how that as a student you have to go through voluminous books in terms of coursework, how extensive that it is. You feel like AI could help solve that problem. And for sure, like you already mentioned, there are different AI solutions already doing that. We shared some of them in the course, right, Jessica? In some of the modules you've already explored, we share some tools that you can use to break them down. For example, Otter AI, there is quite a couple others. For example, there's Firefly's AI as well, that you can use to like break down content, either recording, creating a transcript out of that, breaking that into different bite-sized, actually. Those two tools are ones that I'll recommend, Otter AI or Fireflies. They are like very, very good for helping you summarize content and very easy to use. Before we come to your second question, Jessica, I know you're very active and she's always very active in the meetings. Let me go to Baba Ifeoluwa. Ifeoluwa, what's one problem you think that AI, maybe if the solution already exists, that's nice, but if you could just tell us about what's a problem that you think that it's currently going on or pervasive in your community that you feel like AI could help solve, whether or not the solution is there right now.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Alfred. Thank you, Ms. Markey, for the wonderful session so far. I think one of the major problem I would like to solve is the problem Ascent is already solving, which is bringing people to awareness, although not through Ascent's method. But I realize that a lot of people here in my community are a bit knowledge deficient, and are unable to live the quality of life that they should be living, and or are unable to interact with the global space. They are far behind or are not aware of what's going on in the global space. So they are left out and they are unable to make much difference in their own lives and to the lives of people around them. So I think I would just like to find a way to an educational platform where we can leverage on AI to help young people, be aware of what's going on in the world and catch up and just be in tune, and then thereby live a higher quality of life for themselves and by extension to those around them, and build solutions as well. I think that's what I like to do.
All right, that's a very, very good one. Very, very smart observation, actually, recognizing how that young people in our local communities are still quite distant from the global reality. A lot of young people do not even know what AI is. Most people, when they hear AI, they just think ChatGPT, and it's a lot more than that. So the fact that you're able to think in a very selfless manner, and that's what Markey said about, like, to build AI solutions, you must start with empathy. So that framework you mentioned, ERA, I think that's something that we can keep in mind. We'll share the recording later, but if you're writing notes, you should be looking at that. So empathy is one good place to start, and I think that's something you're already practicing at Laba, recognizing the needs of others. Enabling social transformation through AI must go beyond building solutions that you can make profit off of. It must first of all be, how can I use artificial intelligence in a way that is beneficial to my community, right? Before you start thinking making the next billion-dollar company, if you think about how can I solve the problem for 100 people, right? Step by step, you eventually get to that dream, right? But a lot of young people like to rush towards just creating the next billion-dollar company. And most time it comes back to harm humanity in one way or another, or even harm you yourself as an individual. So very, very smart answer, Laba. Respect that so much. Well done, Ifeoluwa. Markey, maybe we'll come back to you. There are two questions in the chat, and we'll take those two. It's actually from the same person. Yeah.
Yes,
Let me read it out for you. Or you want to go?
Yeah, I can start. Thank you so much for your question, Jessica. I think definitely it's a great question to ask. Yeah. And I actually wanted to tell you this is kind of one of the reasons that I entered the AI field. Because back in 2019, I went to one AI conference it was in Shenzhen back then. And I pretty much, like I went to one of the session. Actually, they were really discussing about what, even at the time, they were discussing what is actually the artificial intelligence. And it was very interesting discussion because, like they were even discussed about like, oh, okay, like some intelligence form, for example, from the ant, like, or from like kind of some animals in the, like some mammals in the ocean. It was like kind of like they were trying to shift from the intelligence from human, and I think that was already like interesting to me back in 2019, right? And getting back to the empathy, so there was one of the AI scientists, he was mentioning that actually, so one of the highest goal for AI researcher in the long run, right? I mean, so I think you might kind of like heard of different terms like artificial narrow intelligence, like artificial general intelligence, artificial like super intelligence, and then they were mentioning that, I mean, like after all, like what is one of the hardest thing to actually create is the empathy. And like I think definitely, as you asked, like we are not there. we are still far from there. And with your question that you were asking, what skills do we need to combine technology and empathy effectively? I really can tell you that I think I do not have exact answer. But however, there are actually some AI research scientists who are working on it. I think definitely like Geoffrey Hinton is kind of working in this field. I think you can search about him, and then I think there is also another like godfather of AI. Like they were also talking about this right now, because I mean they like they were mentioning about like once AI has reached to a point when they are really really smart, and then so and if they are so much smarter than humans, so what's next, right? But yeah, so they are really working on it. So I think it's nice, of course. Yeah. And getting back to Alaba, I think I just wanna show something real quick, and I think this is actually very very interesting. So like here, can you see my screen? Yeah. So like this is something that the Chinese community, like I think since 2023 they were kind of like working on, and then they were kind of like aggregate all the information together, and until the point where it feels like it has become a school. Yeah, so people can browse, can learn about the tools, this and that. And yeah, I think this is definitely something that as an innovation lab is kind of working on. And I believe that yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like no matter what we are, it's something that we can share, and we can learn from each other, like how like each community is doing something like that, right? Okay.
It's interesting to see that website. You said actually that's an initiative since 2019 in terms of way to AGI. Did I hear you correctly?
That was not my community. It was kind of like some group of Chinese product manager. They like they were kind of like, because product manager in general, they have to like learn about what's going on in the market. They have to find the tools, this and that, and then they come together, and then they were kind of like they were kind of starting. I'm not sure if you have heard of LARC. If not, it's fine. You can think of it as a Microsoft
LARC AI.
Yeah, like it is kind of a Google document. So in the initial stage, they were kind of like putting things together in the Google Doc, and then it was kind of like sharing around, and then everyone come to contribute together. So yeah, it started from there, and then at one point they kind of like made a website and all. Yeah.
Interesting. That's very, very smart. Thank you. I see that there's one pretty good question here, Latifa. She goes very, very deep to think about this. Latifa, do you want to come? I've hardly ever hear you talk, but maybe I'm wrong. Please prove me wrong today, Latifa. Would you like to come off mute to just share and ask your question? It's a good one. Would you like to just come off mute? Okay. Yeah, please go ahead for it. Just hit the mic button and you should be able to talk. If not, I can help out as well. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like she's shy.
Okay.
So she says that in her community, she's already noticed that many millennials and older adults, baby boomers, find it difficult to understand or relate to in respect to AI, especially when it's only available in English. what are some practical ways we can design or localize AI tools to make them accessible through local languages and easier for elderly users to engage with? I think this is something that the Asian community has been able to do very well. They build technology in the local language, for example, whether it's Chinese or whether it's Thai. It's a lot more, it's something that you guys over there have been able to design into it. So how were you able to do that so well? I think that's what Latifa is trying to ask.
Yeah, so I think first of all, like in early stage, right? Like when you were using ChatGPT in like 2023, I think back then, because of the large language model hasn't been trained with enough data for each language. So in the early stage, people would find it difficult to use. But I think for example, nowadays, right? Like it has been a couple of years
Good
later.
morning.
Hello.
Okay, I
Good
think she was having
morning. My name is
some technical
Latifa.
issues. Yeah, go on.
Yes, I will. So, my question is, the world is evolving every day, and now we are in the AI era. It's really so bad, and it gets to me sometimes that there are times maybe when my parents see me doing something about maybe Web3 space or using AI, they are just always surprised. And it feels so abstract to them that no matter how much you like try to explain, they don't really get it. And it feels like we are leaving them um out of it. Like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It feels like they are being left behind and all. There are some kind of businesses even now that I feel like people, if young people are doing it with AI and everything, they are like really going forward. Unlike the old people that are still like using the same method and everything, instead of using AI to like leverage and make their businesses better. I don't know if you understand my point. And in Nigeria, we always have this. I can't even remember. I'm very sure that it's been so long that they did this census counting and all of that. Probably because they don't have the resources to do that. But I feel if they're able to like do census, the government is going to be able to help the citizens in some way. I'm sure they don't even know the exact number of people they have in the country. So I'm asking that, is there a way AI can make this possible and make it easy?
Let me ask Alfred first. Alfred, are you the millennial or are you Gen Z?
I am Gen Z, please.
Okay, I got the answer.
Definitely Gen Z. Markey, you should know.
Bro.
You met me. Come on. Very, very young.
You know what? I mean, like, there's just okay. All right. I'm still millennial, but very, very close to Gen Z. All right. What I would love to answer you for this is I would say understand. I think with the fact that because I entered AI early and then I get to like leverage the tools early, but then so I kind of like have the insights or like how to use and all. But when I talk with my friends who are not in the space, and then like it took them 2 years to start ChatGPT and all, and then I kind of understand the pain. But however, for example, I mean I think like what are some practical ways that we can design or localize AI tools to make it accessible for like millennials and older adults, right, with the local language. I would say first of all, it would require the awareness and somewhat like the education in a way, right? I mean, I think first of all, it's like in general that there is no point at all for anyone to use any tool if it's not useful. So then you can start to think if like just wearing their shoes, right? And trying to think of like what would be the best scenarios that, like, let's say maybe your parents or like your aunt would be using AI for. And then I believe that from there, right? Sometimes, for example, like, okay, maybe you can build the app, like with the vibe coding tool. But sometimes it could be just as simple as like you know, like come up with one TikTok video or one YouTube video just to like educate them, just to share with them that, hey, this is useful and this is how to use it. So I think because sometimes we are making like something simple into something quite complex, but I think if we analyze through like, yeah, I think it's simple to get started. But however, I mean, because you were mentioning about the local language, so maybe I just want to learn whether like when you are using ChatGPT with your local language, is it actually like can we say that, you know, ChatGPT is already smart enough, or, you know, it's like, is there some mistakes and hallucination? Can you learn a little bit more?
Hey, Latifa.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay. I think you're
Could you come
asking
again?
if
Yeah, Markey, if you could go again with the question so she could understand.
Yeah, so I would love to learn whether when you're chatting with ChatGPT, right, in your own
yeah,
language, so does
okay.
like ChatGPT understand and can answer you properly?
It's understand. I don't really use my local language. I use English most of the time. But the
Right.
times that I've tried using it, it actually gets it right. But there are sometimes like there's always like repetitive responses. I don't know if you get that. You get to a point and it can't go anymore. It gives me
Right.
back like repetitive responses. Yes.
Yeah, I think because this situation is very depending on how they train their model, right, with different local languages. So I think each year, like for example OpenAI, or, you know, like maybe Google, like Gemini, they would be announcing whether like what is the level of accuracy for particular language right now, like where are they in each year. So then this is something that maybe, you know, like you can go back and search a little bit, but I think because it, with the fact that it's improving every year, so it would reach to the point where, you know, like people would just like they can use it like as simple as English. Yeah, so I think I can send you some link after this as well. Yeah, to search about that. I believe that with many local languages, it should be easy to use already.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, Markey.
Let's see.
For the Asian market, Markey, how was the community over there able to design it in a way where it understands the local languages? Do you have any insights into how that happened? Was it like it had to be built from scratch? For example, can I use ChatGPT in Chinese if I was ever to travel? I know that it's entirely blocked. In fact, you can't even access ChatGPT in China, right? So that's something that's not even possible. I remember the time I tried to open it while I was in Beijing, like just totally restricted. But for any AI systems, like what's the process like for enabling that AI system to understand local languages, for example?
Yeah, I would say, you know, like as you mentioned, right? Actually for China, I would say we are having our own ecosystem. So I just sent to the chat, this is my company actually, and then so basically we have our own large language model. And then so basically it has been trained so well. But however, I mean, I think with many like you know, international large language model like the GPT from OpenAI, I think actually those they also kind of like keep improving the local language. So for example, besides China, right? For example, in Thailand, I think the adoption is actually just simple, because like in ChatGPT we can simply type Thai, or we can speak to the AI in Thai language. And let me search real quick. I think there is some documents that, yeah, like they would be mentioning about all the support languages. Anyway, I will be sending to you later, and you can share to your community later.
Yeah. All right, then. Thank you very, very much, Markey. Well, like 4 minutes away from the top of the hour, this has been very, very interesting. Anybody who would like to ask one more question, or you want to contribute, you want to share something, you want to share your own thoughts around how AI can be used for social transformation, that would be great. I would post, I know that this conversation has also stirred up one question that I just started to ruminate on it as Markey continued to talk. If empathy is something that is innate for humans, in fact, I just posted it on my social status on WhatsApp. If empathy is innate to humans, how can we trust AI to build a safer or happier? Yes, Julius, yes, you can come off. How can we trust AI to come off to build a safer or happier world? So I think that's something we should continue to discuss on the Ascent community, going away from this call. The last webinar we held was still trying to do some edits, but we'll quickly work on this one and upload it on YouTube so you can catch up on it and watch. Amolara, let's go to you.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Okay, I have a question. So presently, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So presently, having a conversation, for example, the way I can just go around and speak with my friends, have conversations with my friends. Presently, the AI tools I know about do not have the capacity to be able to pick up what a person is saying. For example, I'm trying to speak with ChatGPT, I'm using a voice recording, and then ChatGPT is saying another thing entirely different from what I said. So I'm wondering how would, if AI getting to that point, like when would AI get to the point that you would be able to pick up what the person is saying to it? If I'm saying, how are you doing? AI is saying, how are you doing? With the intonation I'm using, with the language I'm using. And I don't know if you get my question. So I can be able to communicate with it the same way I can communicate with my friends, and they can understand what I'm saying with my voice. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I understand correctly. Oh, okay, Jessica.
Someone wants to answer. Jessica wants to answer.
So
Jessica,
in
feel free to
reply,
come off mute. Yeah?
yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
Okay. So in reply to the question Omolara asked, I personally feel it's probably the way you asked the question, because I use ChatGPT lots of times, and it's like it's been my lifeline. Any question, whatsoever it is, I want to ask ChatGPT. It's all.
Oh my word. It seems the network is hijacking Jessica's voice. Jessica, we can't hear you anymore. And she was just attempting to answer Omolara's question, but Jessica, it seems your network is poor. Latifa, you asked a question about the census. Trying to look for it. What was it exactly? I think we can close on that. Jessica, if you can hear me, your network is pretty poor. We can't hear you anymore. But maybe you can type in the chat, right? Sorry about that. So Latifa's question, it seems like we missed it, says that, is there a way that AI can help with census? And in terms of population counts, how do you think that AI can help with that? I think she was saying something like, oh, it's been a long time since our country has done any source of like population counting. Is there a way that AI can step in to solve that particular problem?
I mean, if you are talking about a survey of population, I mean, well, I think one thing to keep in mind is that because right now, AI is still in the early stage. So I don't want we to, like fully trust the technology, fully like let the technology do all the things. I think always keep in mind to like no matter what you use, it must make sense. And then yeah, I would say you have to keep seeing how the technology go and grows. And I think regarding this scenario, it first of all, it might be related to the data security, which I think first of all, it's like, for example, if you would be using ChatGPT for that, like from the AI from OpenAI, then I wouldn't also recommend you to do it, because in terms of deploying the AI, I think like each country should have their own like AI policy for that. And then in this case, it must means that like your data stays in your country. So I mean you could leverage the AI for that scenario. However, security must come with it. And I think regarding your question, there are ways to leverage AI for the data. However, the concern, yeah, is the privacy, either to the personal information if someone hack it, and also to the country, yeah, to the nation. Yeah. So I think that I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you very much, Markey. In terms of data privacy, that's a very, very big concern. Thank you. Jessica, you said your Wi-Fi went off. Maybe we can close with you. Thank you, Latifa. Yeah.
Okay, can everyone hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, replying to Omolara's question, I was saying it's most likely the way you're asking the question, because I use ChatGPT a lot, and it's
Sorry, Jessica.
Oh, you turned off
Okay,
the
I think that
microphone.
her Wi-Fi went off again. But
Highly
no
possible.
problem. I think that you've done very well. Markey, thank you very, very much for joining us today. Really, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking our time. I know how busy you've been traveling around, getting to do work and everything. Thank you for making our time. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well, getting to speak with GenZs in our community. We'll be immediately, I don't think we need to edit anything out of this one. The previous one, we had to do a bit of edits due to some of the things that the speaker shared, screen sharing and all of that. But for this one, I think we can just go ahead and upload it straight up to YouTube. And it's a very, very fascinating conversation. We'll continue it in the community as well. And we look forward to having you sometime in the future, Markey. Thank you so much. And if we can just celebrate, please just celebrate Markey in the chat.
Thanks for having me,
heart
guys.
emoji. Let's make her feel appreciated. Let's make her feel appreciated. And I dropped that LinkedIn page. Make sure to follow her on LinkedIn. We had such a great time, like Jessica just said. Thank you very, very much, Markey. Have wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. I think it should be like 5 p.m. for you right now, if I'm correct.
6
9 p.m. 6 p.m. Okay.
All right.
Take care, Markey. I'll be in your DM on WeChat. I'll send you a message. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining.